This is CBS 13 News at 11.
Tonight, trees down on cars and roads washed away from underneath them.
Pretty sad.
Where damage is at its worst tonight, and the watch is in effect right now. Really a mess pretty much everywhere, Adrian, but York County certainly took a big hit.
They certainly did, Greg. We're in front of First Parish Church in York, which is right on York Street. If you can see this clock here behind me on the steeple there, it says 5:20. That's the moment this storm hit. Taking down in that storm was this tree. This is a tree, by some estimates in this community, was 250 years old, one of the oldest in York. This tree has probably survived hurricanes and other massive storms. It didn't survive this one tonight, and neither did this vehicle, as you can see right behind me, crushed by this huge tree. Another vehicle, at least one other vehicle, is behind that one. I want to show you some daytime video of this scene. Perhaps it can give you a better perspective. This tree came down right around 5:20. There were about 60 people inside of the building right next to it. Thankfully, they're all safe. You know, this is hardly the only damage. There were trees down all over the place, in homes, in yards. Thankfully, at this point, no damage, or excuse me, no injuries reported. Of course, the wind was the major concern here. In other parts of Maine, specifically central Maine, it was all about the flooding. Flash flooding, washing away roads. CBS 13's Katie Sampson is actually live for us in Madison tonight. And Katie, this flash flood was really a big concern for folks up there.
Yeah, that's right, Adrian. The floods here actually cleared out about as quickly as they came in. You can see the road, Main Street, is now passable. But earlier this evening, it was more like a river.
Kind of nutso.
Raging waters and nearly impassable roads.
I've lived in Madison 10 years and I've never seen it like this.
Main Street in Madison seeing the brunt of severe weather, and it comes as a shock to residents.
My son and I were standing right in the doorway of my house watching the whole thing take place. I see kids' toys floating down the street and everything. It's kind of wild.
The road's flooded out. It looks like there's a car and got washed out over there.
That car belongs to Ray Barnes.
Pretty sad.
He saw the sheets of rain outside his window.
And I decided to come down and move it. Too late. It was already washed out dead.
That's crazy that it sunk that car right into the ground like that.
What surprises many of these spectators is how this flood came and went in a flash.
All this stuff going on in less than 20 minutes is pretty crazy.
Everything was dry, you know, when this started. Now all of a sudden it's like this.
Leaving this behind.
One heck of a mess.
And to our west, another mess from flash flooding in Farmington. CBS 13's Marissa Bodner shows us what the damage is like there.
We're here on Clover Mill Road in Farmington. It's currently shut down. All of that rain fell just about 6 o'clock, and it fell fast. You can see this culvert here is overflowing. Right now, there's just too much water to handle. It's rushing across the road, and right now, it's taking a part of the road with it. A few miles away, cars slowly pass through the newly formed lake on Route 2. But the worst of it in Farmington is on Route 43 near Industry, where DOT crews were still cleaning up hours later. This video taken earlier in the evening by one of our Facebook fans shows where a section of the road was washed away along with 3 driveways. Those who live nearby, like Fred Barton, say it rained for 2 hours straight, leaving the worst damage he's ever seen on his property.
Now it's about 1.5 feet, 2 feet of mud all the way down behind my garage, in my garage, and what a mess. And it took my driveway out over there. It was 2 feet of water up against my car and everything. It was pushing my car right across the dooryard. There's so much water.
Here on Route 2, the water has already receded significantly since the peak of the storm, and as long as the rain holds off, it will only continue to do so. In Farmington tonight, Marissa Bodner for CBS 13 News.
And Route 43 did open back up tonight. Back here in Madison, I did speak with police. They said there were no injuries and only one minor car crash from these flash floods. Reporting live in Madison, Katie Sampson, CBS 13 News. Adrian, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Katie, thank you very much. Of course, flooding there, a potential microburst and straight line winds here causing a lot of damage. My colleague Beth Jones has actually been touring York all throughout tonight, and boy, I mean, everywhere you go, Beth, trees down in houses, in yards, just a chaotic scene.
And yeah, chaos is probably the word to use to describe this. From the time that we got here in York, we were seeing rescue crews rushing back and forth, debris all over the road. Everywhere we looked, there was a tree down or at least a branch down, just a crazy amount of damage. To give you some perspective, Adrian was talking about the tree behind us earlier. That roof structure is about as tall as I am, which gives you some idea about just how huge that was. And witnesses tell us that all of this damage happened in just a few minutes, really. They say that police and fire crews were thrown into action from the time that this potential microburst hit. They say, again, it swept through in just a matter of minutes. High winds doing major damage up and down York Street and other areas as well, bringing down huge trees on cars and on a number of houses as well. We actually spoke to one such homeowner who on Radon Street who tells us a huge tree crashed onto her house while she and her husband were actually inside.
I was walking down the hallway from the bedroom toward the living room. I heard a very loud noise and saw a white sheet, which was my ceiling, coming down, and right in front of me, the living room ceiling came down. And that was kind of shocking. I stepped back just in time to see the bathroom ceiling come down. So it was all just chaos.
I would say within a minute, all of this damage in 1 minute, and then it was gone.
Really?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was unbelievable.
Well, again, we just checked in with the York Hospital, and we also checked in with an emergency dispatcher. Both tell us still no reports of storm-related injuries. And Adrian, that is really the miracle in all of this. When you look at all of this damage, you look at all of the houses so badly damaged, all of the chaos and debris, it really is a miracle that no one was injured. But again, at this hour, that is the word.
And we certainly like to hear that, Beth. Thank you very much. I actually want to take you back over here because I want to show you this structure right behind the tree. That is where a soup kitchen was happening when the storm hit. About 60 people were inside that building eating dinner when the storm came through. Now, I spoke with a gentleman named Dave Grace. He was leading the soup kitchen at the time. He said they rushed to get everybody into the center of the building. He said he's never experienced anything like this storm, and he said it was terrifying. Take a listen.
Scary. We told everybody to get into the main dining hall and just kind of stick together and we'll see what happened. The lightning was unreal and the rain was just straight down, and we had one big flash and we assumed that that's what hit the tree or hit part of the tree, and then shortly after that we heard the tree come down.
Here's that tree that came down. This one behind me here.